Have you ever been in a room where her eyes landed on you? Just for a second. And then she looked away, almost like nothing happened? You probably thought, oh, she wasn't really looking at me. But what if I told you that tiny glance wasn't an accident? What if, in that single moment, she saw something about you, something most men don't even realize they're projecting? Because here's the brutal truth. Most guys walk around thinking attraction is about looks, money, or height. But women are wired to notice hidden traits you don't even know you're showing. And the scariest part? You could be turning her off before you even speak. Or you could be sparking something she can't explain. It all depends on these hidden signals. Ready to find out what they are? If you've ever wondered why some guys seem to magnetically attract women without trying, drop it in the comments if you've experienced this, or share the last time you felt completely invisible to a woman. Stay till the end, because the last trait will flip your entire perspective. You walk into a cafe. You're not thinking about her. You're thinking about coffee, maybe a deadline, maybe absolutely nothing. But the second you cross the threshold before you say a word, before you even glance her way, she's already noticed you. Her eyes flick up from her phone, her fingers pause around the rim of the cup, and for just half a second, she scans you. Something about the way you entered. Something about the tension, or lack of it, in your shoulders, your pace, your focus. It hits her in a flash, and then it's gone. She looks away. You don't notice. You think, she didn't even see me. But she did. And she made a judgment. Not consciously, not logically, but emotionally, instinctively, deeply. Because that moment when a man enters a room is louder than anything he could say. You might assume women only notice you once you talk, once you crack a joke or flex your style or show some cleverness. But here's the truth most men never hear. Women feel your presence before you perform. They pick up on subtleties your logical mind isn't even trained to detect. How you hold tension, whether your eyes dart or rest, whether your chest leads or your head does. If you're scanning for attention or bringing attention inward, it's not about being handsome. It's not about muscles or the perfect fade. It's about energy. And energy doesn't lie. She doesn't know why she feels curious about one guy and repelled by another. She couldn't explain it if you asked her, but her body knows. Her nervous system knows. Because women are biologically hardwired to detect signals of safety, strength, certainty, status, or threat. And most of it happens below your awareness. He walks in slow, grounded, aware. Not trying to be seen, but fully present. She glances. Her breath catches. She doesn't know why, but she's paying attention now. You walk in rushed, eyes darting, shoulders slightly collapsed. You're a good guy, but in that moment, she doesn't feel it. You ever felt invisible around women? Like no matter what you do, they just don't respond? It's not because they didn't see you. It's because they already categorized you, and not in the way you hoped. This is the part most men never learn. The part no one teaches. But once you see it, you can never unsee it. So here's your move. Next time you walk into a room, slow down your pace just a little. Hold your posture, breathe, and as you pass through the door, make brief eye contact with the environment, not the people. Not yet, just the space itself. Own it. You're not chasing attention. You're carrying it. Most guys never see how much they're communicating before they speak. But you do now. There's a certain kind of man who walks into a room, and even if he says nothing, people feel him. He's not loud. He's not putting on a show. In fact, he might be the quietest guy there. But something about him makes people lean in. She sees him too. Maybe she doesn't even realize she's watching him, but her eyes keep drifting toward him. He's calm, unbothered. He sits there, sipping his drink, his posture relaxed but upright, his breathing slow, his gaze steady, not staring, not avoiding, just present. And here's the funny part. He doesn't even care who's looking. He's not performing. He's not secretly hoping for attention. He's not mentally calculating what people think of him. He's simply rooted in himself, completely at ease with silence both around him and within him. That is silent certainty. Most men don't get this. They think the way to stand out is by being the most charismatic guy in the room. They try harder. They talk faster. They tell stories with animated gestures and nervous laughter, thinking if they just say enough, someone will finally notice them. But that energy, women sense it. And it doesn't pull them in, it pushes them away. Because here's the raw truth. Women are drawn to men who don't need to be noticed. Men who are already enough, with or without validation. She's sitting across the room, chatting with her friend. She hears the loud guy in the corner, cracking jokes, dominating the conversation. He's funny, sure, but her eyes keep drifting back to the quiet man. The one who isn't trying to be anything other than what he is. He doesn't fidget. He doesn't explain himself. When he speaks, it's slow, deliberate, measured. No rush. To fill the silence. No chasing laughs. He lets his words land, and every time he pauses, it creates space. Space for tension. Space for curiosity. She leans in. She wants to fill that space. What most men don't realize is this: over-explaining. And over-talking come from a place of insecurity, a need to prove your worth. But the man with silent certainty, he already knows his worth. And she can feel it. You probably thought you needed to be more outgoing to get her attention, to be the guy with the loud laugh and the big energy. But you don't. You just need to lean into stillness, to let your presence speak before your words do. Here's your move. In your next conversation, whether with a woman, a friend, or even a stranger, pause for just 2 seconds longer than you normally would before answering. Don't rush to fill the gap. Breathe. Hold your ground. It'll feel uncomfortable at first. That's normal. That's your old habits trying to grip onto control. But watch what happens. The room slows down around you. People start leaning in. They feel your calm. They feel your certainty. And she can't help but notice it, because most men never learn to sit in that kind of power. But you just did. Leadership doesn't have to shout. In fact, the most magnetic kind of leadership barely makes a sound at all. It's a quiet current beneath. The surface, something you feel more than you see. And women? They notice it without realizing they're noticing it. Because leadership isn't about telling people what to do. It's about being the kind of man others naturally want to follow. Picture this. You're at a party with a group of friends. Everyone's chatting, laughing, a little scattered. No one's really in charge. Then there's you. You casually say, "Let's grab that table over there." No demands. No over-explaining. Just a simple, confident suggestion. The group moves. They follow without hesitation. She's watching. She's seen guys ask, "Where do you want to sit?" Or, "Is it okay if we do this?" Always waiting for permission. Always uncertain. But you don't ask. You decide. There's a subtle energy in that subtle but undeniable. Women pick up on it instinctively. Because leadership signals safety and confidence. When a man takes up space, not aggressively, but decisively, he sends a message. I know where I'm going. You can trust me to lead. And trust? That's the foundation of attraction. Here's what most guys don't realize. Leadership isn't about power over others. It's about power within yourself. It's the small, everyday decisions that show you're anchored in your own life. Maybe you think you have to be loud or dominant to lead. But real leadership is silent. It's the man who holds his ground without forcing it. The man who moves through the world with a clear purpose, even in small moments. She watches as you subtly suggest what to order, where to sit, or when to move. She doesn't hear demands. She feels assurance. Most men think politeness means asking for permission on everything. But here's the secret. People don't follow those who wait for permission. They follow those who offer quiet guidance. The man who takes the lead is the man women notice before he even opens his mouth. Next time you're out with friends, try it. Make a simple suggestion without hesitation. Let your voice carry a calm authority. Watch how the energy shifts around you. And remember this, you don't need a title, a loud voice, or a grand gesture to lead. You just need to decide and to move forward with quiet confidence. You're the kind of guy who notices these small shifts. That already sets you apart, because while most men wait for permission, you're learning how to give it to yourself and others, and that's magnetic. There's something about certain men that women find irresistible, and it's not what most guys think. It's not money, good looks, or status. It's a subtle quality, something mysterious, something women sense immediately, but struggle to define. We call it the untouchable edge. Picture this. You're at a gathering, casually chatting with friends. She's talking to you, smiling, and clearly enjoying herself. She seems intrigued, leaning in closer. Then you glance at your watch and gently say, "I've got to run. Good talking with you." Her eyes widen just slightly. You leave, and now she's left wondering, where is he going? Why isn't he staying longer? Did I say something wrong? But that's exactly the magic of the untouchable edge. It's not about rejecting her or playing games. It's about genuinely having a life beyond this moment. It's about having passions, interests, and priorities that you genuinely value, even more than the brief validation of a flirtatious conversation. Most guys think that giving a woman your full attention all the time is the sure way to her heart. They believe that being always available is charming, romantic. But here's what's really happening inside her mind. Constant availability signals low value. Harsh, maybe, but true. Women instinctively value what feels slightly out of reach, something they have to earn, or at least something that feels worth pursuing. When you gently step away first, you're not rejecting her. You're simply signaling that your life is abundant, exciting, fulfilling. You don't need to cling desperately to her approval because you have something else meaningful happening. And this ignites her curiosity. She wonders about you, thinks about you later when you're gone. Because in the absence of certainty, imagination thrives. She fills that gap with intrigue, questions, and desire. Most guys stay too long, laugh too loud, or try too hard. They think if they leave early, they'll lose their chance. But the reality is completely different. The moment you comfortably walk away, you become someone worth chasing. You're now a story, a mystery, a puzzle she wants to solve. Here's how you practice this in real life. Next time you're having a good conversation, especially one that's clearly going well, politely end it first. Do it smoothly, naturally, without hesitation or excuses. Simply say, "Hey, I gotta get going. Let's talk again soon," and genuinely mean it. Walk away with a calm smile. She'll notice. She'll feel it. She'll think about it. Because unlike most men, you're not waiting around, hoping she picks you. You're already choosing yourself, and women love a man who has somewhere else. Worth being. That's your untouchable edge. Ever watched a situation spiral out of control and noticed how some guys get pulled into the storm, while others remain quietly centered, completely unaffected by the chaos? Women notice this instantly. They're drawn almost magnetically to a man who can be the calm in the storm. This is emotional anchoring, and it's a trait women deeply crave. Even if they can't quite explain it, picture this scene clearly. You're with her, and something stressful happens. An argument sparks around you. Voices get louder. Tensions rise. She feels it. Anxiety begins bubbling up inside her. Maybe she even lashes out or panics. But then there's you. Instead of matching that intensity, you simply pause. You breathe deeply, staying steady, completely unshaken. Your voice remains low and calm, reassuring yet firm. In that exact moment, something powerful happens within her. Without realizing it, she begins to match your calm instead of the chaos around her. You didn't tell her how to feel. You simply provided an emotional anchor point. She instinctively feels safer around you, more secure, more protected. Most men make the mistake of thinking they need to immediately fix whatever problem arises, diving into solutions or trying desperately to prove their competence. But here's the secret truth. A woman rarely needs you to solve her emotional problems instantly. What she really craves is your calm, your grounded presence. Because in that moment of crisis, your steadiness becomes the most attractive thing about you. You probably never thought about it like that. You likely believed showing empathy meant jumping into her emotional storm, matching her intensity, or validating every single worry. But what she actually needs is the opposite. She needs to feel that even when she's shaken, you remain steady, strong, solid. Next time you find yourself in a heated moment, maybe it's an argument, maybe it's just a stressful situation, try something different. Instead of immediately responding, pause briefly. Slow your breathing. Lower the pitch and pace of your voice. Let your words carry weight rather than urgency. Watch what happens. She feel your energy shift. The moment she notices your steadiness, her intensity will begin to soften. She'll naturally mirror your calm. You've now become her emotional anchor. You've just shown her the rarest, most powerful trait most men never master. And this doesn't just attract her, it earns her respect, trust, and a deeper sense of safety around you. She'll feel compelled toward you, unable to explain exactly why. It's not logic. It's deeper. It's primal. It's emotional anchoring. And now you hold the key. Most guys will never discover how powerful emotional calm truly is. But you just did. Have you ever noticed the way some guys give? They buy gifts, do favors, and shower compliments, but something about it feels off. It feels transactional, almost needy, as if every nice gesture secretly demands attention or approval in return. Women sense this immediately, and nothing makes attraction evaporate faster. But then there's another kind of generosity. It's quiet, casual, detached from outcomes. It's giving without expectation, generosity without need. This subtle, powerful trait is what sets apart truly attractive men from the rest. Imagine this. You're standing in line at a coffee shop. You pay for your coffee, and casually, you pay for the next person's too. You don't wait around for a thank you, or glance back to see her reaction. You simply smile to yourself and move on with your day. Unnoticed, unattached. Across the shop, a woman notices you do this. She watches you walk away. In that moment, something shifts in her perception of you. She doesn't know you, but she already sees you differently, more intriguing, more attractive, more powerful. Because your generosity wasn't about getting validation. It was simply who you are. Most men think being generous means doing big, flashy things that everyone sees, expecting praise or gratitude in return. But women feel the difference instantly between generosity born from genuine abundance and generosity born from hidden insecurity. The first draws them closer. The second pushes them away. You've probably been taught the wrong idea, that doing nice things should always earn you recognition, love, or attention. But real generosity doesn't care if it's noticed. And paradoxically, this kind of generosity is precisely what gets noticed the most. Why? Because it signals a deeper strength within you. It tells her you're secure enough, abundant enough, that you can freely give without needing anything in return. You're not keeping score. you're not secretly bargaining. You're just authentic, and nothing's more attractive than authenticity. Here's something powerful to try this week. Perform one small act of kindness or generosity, but don't tell anyone about it. Don't linger for a reaction. Don't post about it. Don't even let yourself secretly expect praise. Just do it and walk away. Notice how powerful you feel when you detach from outcomes. Notice how your confidence grows because your generosity is pure, genuine, and unattached. Women instantly sense men who have this strength. They feel safe around you. They admire you quietly, because now you represent something rare and refreshing, a man who gives freely, needing nothing, expecting nothing. Most guys never experience how incredibly magnetic, non-needy generosity truly is. But you just did. Have you ever felt that tiny moment of hesitation right before you say no? That split second where you wonder if turning someone down or setting a boundary might cost you approval, acceptance, or even attraction. Most guys get stuck here. They say yes when they really mean no, thinking it keeps the peace or makes them more likable. But ironically, the opposite happens. Every time you lower your standards, you become a little less magnetic. Women sense this instantly. They might test you, challenge you, or subtly push your boundaries, not because they want you to bend, but because deep down, they're hoping you won't. Here's what it looks like in action. Imagine you're talking to a woman you genuinely like. The conversation turns playful, and she casually suggests something, a date idea, a choice, an opinion that doesn't quite align with your values or interests. Most men immediately bend. They smile nervously, agree anyway, thinking it'll make her like them more. But now imagine you respond differently. Calmly, without apology, you say, "You know what? That's not really my style." Then you smile, completely relaxed, completely sure. Right in that moment, something powerful happens. Instead of feeling rejected, she feels respect for you. Attraction deepens because you stood your ground. You showed her you have real, authentic standards, and you're not afraid to uphold them, even with her. What most guys misunderstand is that women don't actually want you to agree with everything. They want you to have a clear sense of yourself, a quiet strength that doesn't buckle under pressure. They want you to lead with authenticity rather than trying desperately to please them. And every time you confidently uphold your standards, you become the kind of man she instinctively trusts, respects, and desires. Maybe you thought attraction meant always saying yes, never disagreeing, never risking conflict. But real attraction thrives on the opposite. It thrives on boundaries, standards, and quiet strength. The man who can calmly say no without defensiveness or justification is infinitely more attractive than the man who constantly caves in for validation. So here's your simple action step this week. Practice saying no to something small politely, calmly, and without feeling you need to explain or justify yourself. Feel how good it is to simply honor your standards openly. Notice how people respond differently, respecting your clarity instead of pushing against it. Women deeply admire men who live unapologetically, who quietly insist on their values without imposing them on others. They're attracted to this subtle confidence, this unspoken power. Most guys never understand that holding standards actually attracts women rather than pushes them away. But you just learned something they never will. Imagine this clearly. You walk into any room, shoulders back, breathing easy, your steps purposeful but relaxed. Before you even speak, she feels something shift. Her eyes find you, not because you ask for attention, but because your presence commands it. You're calm, steady, certain. You carry yourself with quiet strength, a gentle but powerful leadership. You know your worth, and you show it not through arrogance, but through silent certainty and unapologetic authenticity. That she feels drawn to you, and she doesn't fully understand why. All she knows is there's something different about you, something rare. You don't chase validation. You don't need constant reassurance. You have clear standards, generous, yet detached. You're mysterious, emotionally grounded, and quietly confident. You are the calm at the center of any storm, and women feel safer just being around you. Can you picture that clearly? Can you feel how deeply that would shift your interactions, your relationships, your entire social life? Now, here's what you do next. Choose just one of these 6 hidden traits you've learned, whether it's silent certainty, subconscious leadership, that untouchable edge, emotional anchoring, non-needy generosity, or unapologetic standards, and commit to practicing it intentionally for the next 7 days. Observe what happens. Watch how women's reactions change subtly yet profoundly. Notice how your internal confidence grows, quietly transforming you from within. Because here's the truth. Most men live their entire lives unaware of these invisible dynamics, never knowing the subtle psychological keys to true attraction and genuine confidence. But you've seen behind the curtain. You've glimpsed the real psychological game being played. Now you're ready to win it, and that makes you different. That makes you powerful. That makes you magnetic. This is your emotional shift. It changes everything. Silent certainty, subconscious leadership, untouchable edge, emotional anchoring, non-needy generosity, unapologetic standards. Screenshot this. Save it. Apply it. And watch your entire life change.